1 out of every 4 seniors in America falls each year. But here's the part nobody talks about. Many of those falls don't start with a slippery floor or a misstep. They start silently, weeks earlier, deep inside muscles that have quietly weakened from everyday habits. Muscles that used to work without thinking now whisper warnings. But most people don't hear them until it's too late. Now be honest, have you ever stood up and felt just a little off balance? Like your body knew what to do, but your feet hesitated? Maybe the floor felt like it shifted beneath you, or your knees felt unsure even though nothing hurt. That's not just aging, it's your body asking for help. The good news? There's a way to train these hidden balance muscles in just a few minutes a day, right in your kitchen, wearing your house shoes, using nothing more than what you already have. These aren't workouts, they're life-protecting habits. And the seniors who've tried them are calling it their secret weapon for feeling steady again. So before we jump in, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe, because we share only what actually worked for people over 60, and today's tip might just keep you out of the emergency room. Rueben wasn't the kind of man you'd expect to lose his balance. At 72, he still wore his old leather jazz cap, the same one he played in during late-night sets across smoky lounges in Cincinnati. He had rhythm in his bones. Even in retirement, Rueben couldn't help but tap his foot when a Miles Davis tune came on the radio. Music was second nature. Balance used to be too, but it started subtly. One morning, walking from his recliner to the kitchen, Rueben caught himself grabbing the back of a chair. Not because he tripped, but because something in his legs just didn't feel right. The floor felt a little distant. His feet, unsure. That was strange, he muttered to himself, brushing it off. But then it happened again, and again. Only this time, it was in the grocery store parking lot. Then by the mailbox. Then at church, stepping off the last pew. He hadn't fallen. Not yet. But the real fear didn't come from the idea of hitting the ground. It came from realizing he no longer trusted his legs to carry him the way they used to. That invisible security, the one most of us never notice, had slipped away quietly. Rueben tried what most seniors do when balance starts to go. He bought a wobble board online after reading reviews. Improves core and ankle strength, it said. He stood on it once, panicked when it jolted, and tucked it under the bed. Next, he turned to YouTube, found videos with overly perky instructors in their 30s doing complicated poses on yoga mats. He gave it his best shot, but felt more embarrassed than empowered. Then came his last-ditch effort, calf raises at the kitchen sink. Every morning, he'd grip the counter and push up onto his toes like he was ringing a doorbell with his feet. It helped a little, but it didn't fix the deeper problem. Rueben didn't feel grounded. It wasn't until a chance conversation at his weekly coffee group that things shifted. A retired physical therapist named Earl told him something that stuck. Rueben, your body still remembers how to balance. You just haven't reminded it in the right way. That's when Rueben tried something different. Something simpler, quieter, but surprisingly powerful. 2 movements that didn't look like much at first. But within a few days, he noticed he was reaching for the furniture less, turning corners more confidently, and walking across his living room without second-guessing every step. It wasn't a miracle. It was a wake-up call to reconnect with the muscles that aging had muted. And for Rueben, it was the first time in years he felt in control again. When most seniors think about improving their balance, they focus on their legs, and that makes sense. After all, your legs carry you. But here's the truth most people miss. Your hips and ankles are the real commanders of balance. They don't just support you, they stabilize you, adjust your center of gravity, and silently correct every tiny misstep before you even realize you made one. Think of your body like a tripod. If one leg is shaky, you notice. But if the base, where the legs connect and make adjustments, is unstable. The whole structure wobbles with every breeze. That's exactly what's happening when seniors begin feeling unsteady. It's not just weak legs, it's untrained hip stabilizers and underactive ankle sensors, also known as proprioceptors. These are the tiny, deeply intelligent parts of your body that react within milliseconds to keep you upright. And here's what's truly exciting. A large-scale review published in early 2025 from the American Geriatric Society showed that seniors who specifically target their hip stabilizer muscles and ankle reflex pathways lowered their fall risk by over 40% in less than 6 weeks. That's not speculation. That's fresh, real-world data that changes the game for anyone over 60. This research isn't about fancy gym memberships or intense workouts. These stabilizing systems respond best to small, consistent movements, often done barefoot, in familiar spaces with no equipment. Things Rueben and thousands like him started doing right at home. The problem is, most traditional balance exercises ignore this. They focus on big, visible movements like marching in place or standing on one leg. Helpful, yes, but not enough. What you really need is to wake up the inner control centers that have been asleep from too much sitting, too many passive routines, and not enough targeted motion. But let's pause for a moment. This isn't just about reducing fall risk or strengthening muscles. At its core, balance is about trust. Trust in your body, your steps, your independence. When you know you can rely on your own feet, you move differently. You walk into a room without scanning for things to hold on to. You carry groceries without that flicker of fear. You dance again. You laugh when someone startles you, instead of reaching for a wall. That's what Rueben found, and what you can find too. Not just balance, but confidence. And it starts with understanding what your body truly needs. Not more strain, but smarter movement. Exercise 1, the kitchen counter sway. Let's get into the first exercise Rueben used to rebuild his balance. And the beauty is, you don't need anything fancy. Just a kitchen counter, 2 minutes, and your own 2 feet. Here's how you do it. 1. Stand tall facing your kitchen counter, feet about hip width apart. Gently place your fingertips on the edge, just enough to feel steady, not to lean. 2. Begin to sway slowly from side to side, shifting your weight from one foot to the other. Don't rush it. Let the movement be smooth and natural, like a quiet rhythm in your body. 3. When your weight settles on one side, pause for a full 3 seconds. You should feel your outer hip engage, like a gentle click of support waking up beneath you. Then slowly move to the other side and hold again. 4. Repeat this sway for about 2 minutes or longer if you feel comfortable. Try to do it once in the morning and once in the evening, maybe while waiting for the kettle to boil or during your favorite radio show. What's happening during this simple motion is far more powerful than it looks. You're activating your lateral hip stabilizers, especially the gluteus medius, the muscle that quietly kicks in to stop you from tipping over when you move off center. It's like a set of brakes your body naturally applies when you shift your weight. Except many seniors haven't used those brakes in years. As we age, especially if we sit more and walk less, those small but crucial muscles can go dormant. And when they do, the body starts to rely on furniture, walls, or canes to compensate. Not because it has to, but because it forgot how to correct itself. Rueben, who used to instinctively grab the back of a chair just to walk across the room, said something powerful after trying this for a week. I didn't even realize I'd stopped reaching for the furniture until I noticed I was just walking freely. That quiet shift from hesitation to natural movement is what this exercise is all about. Now here's the best part. You can try this right now. Seriously, take a moment, stand at your counter or table and begin the gentle side-to-side sway. Don't overthink it. Just feel what it's like to connect with your balance again. Try it now. And if you notice even the slightest difference in control or awareness, let us know in the comments. Exercise 2, the ankle wake-up walk. Now let's talk about the second exercise, the one Rueben swears made him feel connected to the ground again. It's called the ankle wake-up walk, and it's exactly what it sounds like, a quiet, focused walk that reawakens the forgotten muscles and reflexes in your feet and ankles, the ones that quietly keep you upright without ever asking for attention, until they stop working. Here's how to do it. 1. Find a clear hallway or open space in your home. Even 10 or 15 feet is enough. Stand tall and take a deep breath to center yourself. 2. Begin walking heel to toe, slowly and deliberately. With each step, place your heel down first, then gently roll through the middle of your foot to the toes. Feel every inch of contact as your foot moves. This isn't a race. It's a wake-up call to your nervous system. 3. Use a wall or countertop for support if needed, especially at first. Walk 2 to 3 laps across the hallway and back, focusing on control, balance, and awareness with every single step. What's happening behind the scenes during this simple walk is remarkable. You're reactivating what scientists call ankle proprioception, your body's internal GPS that tells your brain exactly where your foot is in space. And here's the catch. As we age, especially after 60, that system weakens quietly, especially in people who sit more or have stopped walking long distances. When proprioception fades, the risk of stumbles, missteps, and falls skyrockets. Not because your body is broken, but because it's out of sync. The latest clinical research from early 2025 shows that targeted proprioceptive training, like this exercise, can cut fall risk nearly in half when practiced consistently over a month. And no fancy tools are needed, just your attention, your feet, and a hallway. But let's make this personal again. Rueben didn't wait for a perfect routine. He started doing the ankle wake-up walk every morning, right after feeding the cat, with his coffee cup in hand. No shoes, no pressure, just quiet, mindful steps. After the first few days, he noticed something odd. He wasn't dragging his feet anymore. He felt more connected to the floor, like the ground wasn't just below him, but supporting him. It's the first time in years I didn't feel like I was teetering through the day, he told us. He even began turning around corners more smoothly, catching himself when the phone rang unexpectedly, and standing still without wobbling when brushing his teeth. Try this walk today, and notice how different it feels to move with full awareness of your feet. Tell us in the comments what changed after just one lap. But what Rueben did after mastering this exercise, that's the part that stunned even his physical therapist. And it wasn't some complex workout. We'll show you in just a moment. Here's something powerful you can try right now. Right where you are, no equipment, no warm-up, just you and a chair. It's called the 5-second stand test, and believe it or not, it can reveal more about your overall health than most people realize. Here's how it works. 1. Sit comfortably on a sturdy, non-cushioned chair, preferably one without armrests. Scoot forward a little so your feet are flat on the ground and your back is upright. 2. Cross your arms over your chest or let them hang naturally at your sides, but do not use your hands to push off your legs or the chair. 3. When you're ready, try to stand up smoothly and completely, and see if you can do it in under 5 seconds. That's it. Simple, right? But what it tells us is anything but simple. This test has been used in major studies on senior health, including data from the National Institute on Aging, and more recently, in a 2025 balance and mobility study from the Cleveland Clinic. Researchers found that seniors who could stand from a chair in under 5 seconds without using their hands had significantly lower risks of falls, hospitalizations, and even early mortality over a 5-year span. Why? Because this quick test isn't just about leg strength. It reflects coordination, core stability, joint mobility, and how well your body responds under pressure. Think about it. If you're in a moment where you need to catch yourself, avoid a fall, or react to an uneven step, the same systems this test engages are what will protect you. And here's what's truly inspiring. This isn't a test you either pass or fail. It's a baseline. It shows you where you are right now, and it gives you something to improve on one day at a time. Rueben couldn't do it under 5 seconds when he first tried, not even close. But after 2 weeks of doing the sway and ankle walk exercises, he clocked in at 4.3 seconds, and he was grinning from ear to ear. It became his little morning ritual. Stand up, start the day strong, and remind his body that it was still capable. So here's your turn. Try it now. Pause the video, give it a go, and take your time. Whether it took you 3 seconds, 6 seconds, or you needed a little push, that's okay. Share your result in the comments below. This is a judgment-free space filled with people just like you, working toward the same goal, to stay strong, steady, and independent for as long as possible. Because knowing where you stand, literally, is the first step to building a safer, more confident tomorrow. By week 3, something subtle but powerful started shifting in Rueben's daily life. It wasn't flashy, it wasn't dramatic, but it was real. He no longer reached for the hallway wall on the way to the mailbox. The same wall he used to brush his fingers along just in case. It wasn't even a conscious decision. One morning, he realized he'd walked the full length of the hall, turned the doorknob, and stepped outside without hesitation. His wife noticed before he did. "You didn't hold on to anything," she said. Rueben paused, looked back, and smiled. "I didn't even think about it." That small moment, that unconscious confidence, was his turning point. But it didn't stop there. A few days later, Rueben did something he hadn't done in nearly a decade. He pulled out his old upright bass, dusted it off, and met up with some former bandmates at a local senior center. They were hosting a community night, casual jazz, low lights, and familiar faces. Rueben stood and played for the first time in years, tapping his foot not to stay balanced, but because the rhythm had returned to his body. He said something later that stuck with us. "I didn't just find my balance. I found my rhythm again." And perhaps that's the most powerful part of Rueben's story. Because balance isn't just about avoiding falls. It's about trusting your body again. It's about being able to move freely, stand tall in your own home, walk without fear, and yes, even dance with your wife again on a Saturday night. That's exactly what he did. Rueben and his wife started attending a weekly swing dance class for seniors. Nothing wild, just light steps, a bit of swaying, and lots of laughter. He told us, "I used to feel like I had to brace for life. Now I'm leaning into it again." And here's the part no one tells you. That kind of transformation is possible at any age. It doesn't require extreme training, fancy equipment, or expensive therapy. It takes consistency, the right exercises, and a bit of faith that your body is still listening, even if it's been quiet for a while. Rueben's turnaround didn't come from pushing harder. It came from moving smarter, listening inward, and reclaiming control step by step. And if Rueben could go from fearing the next fall to dancing again under soft cafe lights, then maybe, just maybe, your own rhythm is waiting too, right around the corner. Balance isn't something that disappears in a single moment. It fades slowly, day by day, through small changes we often don't notice. But the good news is, it can be rebuilt the same way. Not with hours in a gym, not with expensive equipment. Just a few mindful minutes a day, right at home. That's how Rueben did it. That's how you can too. And remember this, you're not too old. You're just one strong step away from regaining the steady confidence you deserve. One sway at the counter, one heel to toe walk in the hallway. These aren't just exercises. They're reminders that your body still wants to support you. It just needs to be invited back into the conversation. So whether you're doing this for your safety, your independence, or simply to feel steady on your own 2 feet again, know that you're taking a powerful step toward freedom, not fear. If Rueben's story inspired you, or if you tried one of the exercises and felt even a small spark of hope, hit that like button. Share this video with someone in your life who could use strength, support, and a second chance at stability. And don't forget to subscribe, because this isn't the end of your journey. We're just getting started, and we've got more empowering, senior-friendly tools coming your way right here on Better Aging Advice.